What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review and an unboxing of a new release that just came out from Second Sight called Inside. Let's talk about it. So yeah, one of my favorite companies that's been putting out a lot of releases lately is Second Sight, and partially is because they just put out a lot of really great products, not only just with the extras and the things that they do, but they seem to put a lot of really great artwork on the boxes. And just recently, I just got sent out a copy of one of their most recent releases, which is Inside, a movie from 2007 that is a French extreme film that will blow your mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what I think of this film and do a spoiler-free review of it, and then I'll go over all the ingredients and everything that's inside of this release. Now, just a heads up to save you a little bit of time, this is a Region B release, so that is in, of course, another country than the US. So if you do not have a Blu-ray player that plays Region B, this will not play in your regular player. But let's get in what I think of the movie first. So I saw this movie years ago. I think it was probably around the time that I watched High Tension. I had heard about this movie called Inside, and people had been saying, oh man, it's really good. If you like High Tension, then you're really gonna like this movie. I was a little late on the game on that, and I did, and man, holy crap, did I realize how visceral this movie is. Just like High Tension is, and just like a lot of French extreme films are, this movie is very unyielding, extremely brutal, and it does a few unique things in it that I don't see in other films. So, what is Inside the movie all about? A woman who is pregnant, she is married to another man, they're on the road, they get into an accident, and she loses her husband and survives with her and her baby. One night on Christmas Eve, and yes, it is a Christmas movie, happy holidays, she is tormented in her home by a woman who is seeking to take her unborn child. Yeah. Now, first of all, movies that have kids in them always tend to have a good sort of vibe of worry and concern, because you don't want the kid to get hurt. And sometimes the movies go there. A lot of US films definitely do not. Well, what's it like to have a house that's being invaded by a woman who wants to take your unborn child? Turns out it's extremely thrilling. Now, a typical film like this is usually a man breaking into a woman's house, and it's this thing. They decided to take it and make a woman do this, which I think is wholly original and actually kind of makes this movie feel stand out in a lot of ways that other films wouldn't have. Now, the violence is definitely part of the story, and yes, it is going to upset some people, so fair warning, this is not for the faint of heart. Yes, we know, you horror fans out there, I've seen a lot worse. We get that. It's not a competition, okay? What I am saying, though, is that this is a much more extremely brutal than just your average viewer will enjoy, okay? So it may offend some people, it may upset some people, and it does definitely make you want to look away a couple of times. They're doing stuff with a pregnant lady and sharp objects, and there's a lot of blood. And I mean, when I say there's a lot of blood,
there's a lot of blood.
The kills in this movie are extreme. The thrills in this movie are extreme. The amount of blood in this film is extreme. But it's more than just some sort of, fly-by-night kind of extreme film. It's well shot. It's well paced. It's got like this vibe about it that you don't really see in a lot of like just straightforward films. Slashery vibe, way more out in the open than a lot of these other horror movies would do. And some of the performances in it are really amazing. Now, this is a movie that is directed by two directors. In fact, one of them was new to doing filmmaking and the sort of mechanical process and the technical aspect of making film, Alexandre Bustillo, and he wanted to work with somebody who had that sort of technical know-how and that mechanical prowess in the technical aspect of filmmaking, and that was Julian Maury. So they teamed up together on this film to make one of the more outstanding, in my opinions, French films that I've seen to date. Is it the best? No, but it'll leave a mark. And I mean that in many ways. This is not one that you easily forget, and it is definitely one of the more visceral films that I've ever seen. There is a lot of artistry to it. There's a lot of pacing to the characters and like the things that happen to them. The two stars of the film are two women, obviously, protagonist and the antagonist. We got Alison Paradis, who has a baby that's on the way. We also have Beatrice Daly, who is not only beautiful, but also just insanely insane. I mean, yeah. She's a maniac, and she does a really good job of making you feel unsettled. She's just really good in this role. Like, Beatrice Daly really brings this to life, and I think the two of the women are just fantastic in the film. One of my friends said, she's like, nope, I'm not watching that again. This one really traumatized me. And, you know, there probably are a couple of scenes in this movie that are gonna get to you. I honestly really enjoy this film. It is one of the more thrilling films I've watched. It's not a super in-depth, deep story. It's just, she doesn't really want the child. She's sort of in this space of, you know, I just lost my husband. Do I even want to exist anymore? And then it becomes this more interesting story. And I think that's what really makes this story work, on top of all of the blood and the gore and the violence and the sort of, you know, vibe of this film. There is a little bit of CGI, not in the gore and stuff necessarily. It is mostly in just some extra elements. Like I noticed it once when they had some blood pooling up, and you really can notice it when you see it in higher definition than I've seen it. I originally have only watched it on this, so I've seen it in the lower form of quality. But now that I have this new Blu-ray from Second Sight, it looks insanely good. So I can see those flaws in it. It looks really good. So I'm just happy to have a Blu-ray copy of it because I like this film a lot. I would give it like an 8 out of 10, despite some of the CGI elements. Like there was another part that I forgot to mention that they have, like, you can see like fake rain coming down when she looks out the window. And, you know, there's a couple of moments where they just kind of fill it in, but the rest of it is all practical. And believe me, holy shit, is it really good practical. But yeah, fans of like Martyrs, maybe you're a fan of High Tension, this is going to be kind of that movie for you. Straightforward, killer vibe, not anything supernatural, just a straightforward, really bloody good time. I'd personally highly recommend it if you can get through that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I understand if you can't. So, and I'm even thinking almost like an 8.5 on this as many times as I've watched it. It's just one of the more solid films in this type of subgenre, I guess. I'm going to talk about what all the ingredients are in this now. If you'd like to pick up a copy for yourself, there are a couple different places you can do it. In the US, you can pick it up at like Diabolic DVD, Zavvi. Those are places that you can get shipped here as well. There's a limited edition and a standard edition. The limited edition is this one that I'm going to go over now. And the standard edition is just the disc, which I'll also go over the ingredients of that next. So let's get into it, and I'll let you know what it's all about and what I think. So yeah, we have this really insanely nice box, which, you know, I really like this. It does have the J card here. Here's the side, not the inside, but the side. Jokes. I tend to keep the J cards on there. I don't know, some of you guys don't. We also have the disc with the gray sort of see-through case, which I really like. Although this case is a little weird. I'm not used to this one in particular, but it does not have any kind of flip cover or anything like that, which I was a little surprised to see, but that's okay. We do have the disc with the scissors on there, so you have that. We also have the booklet that's in here, which has quite a bit. In fact, it has like 3 different writers or 3 or 4 different writers in here. Cast and crew notes. We get a monstrous Mother Mary, which is abject Virgin Mary imagery and sapphic sadism inside by Annie Rose Malamet. We also have the Inside the Premiere Slasher Film, which is by Chad Collins. What Not to Expect When You're Expecting. A Brief History of Pregnancy Horror which is really interesting, by the way, and you should check that out if you get this limited edition copy. And that's by Hannah Strong. We also get Inside, which is it's about the French horror by Kat Ellinger, and then we have the acknowledgments. But it is a fully colored book on the whole subject matter, which I've read a little bit already. It is actually quite the interesting read. I try to get into those because it's like, why get them if you're not gonna read it? We also get some of the cards here, which we have 6 art cards that you can use for yourself that I think look really nice. There's a lot of scenes from the movies that you can put on your wall. Maybe you have a shrine that you want to put up. You're a big fan of this movie. They're postcard size, so very cool. And the sort of cover here from the original here. So now I'm going to go over the ingredients that are on the disc. Now, everything that's on the disc, you're going to get on both the standard and the limited edition. The limited edition stuff is all the physical stuff that I just showed you. So if you want to take a look on the back here, by the way, there is this on the underneath the J card. So if in case you don't like to keep the J card, I don't know what it is about me, but I, for some reason, just cannot get rid of the J card. I feel like I like to have the extras on the back in case I pull it off the shelf and want to look at it. So I don't know if you're like me or not, but sound off. Some of the extras on the features of the disc are a new audio commentary by Anna Bogutskaya, the new audio commentary by Alina Latsi, and we also get a sort of a documentary called Firstborn. It's a new interview with co-writer and director Alexandre Bustillo and Julian Maury, it's a really interesting kind of look into why they chose the specific things that they did in the film, how they met, just a lot of history on the film itself. We also get another interview with, it's called Labor Pains, a new interview with actor Alison Paradis, a new Extreme, which is another new interview with producer Frank Ribiere. We also have Womb Raider, Womb Raider, which is great. It's a new interview with cinematographer Laurent Barres. And we also get Real Action, another new interview with stunt coordinator Emmanuel Lanzi. It's I didn't get to watch all of these now. I didn't get to see that one in particular, but there's also another one called The Birth of a Mother, Jen Adams on Inside. But yeah, there's quite a few extras on this disc. Obviously, it's on the same disc as the Blu-ray, and you only get the Blu-ray in this entire copy, but honestly, I think this is a pretty solid release. Now, for visuals, you're going to, of course, be able to see this movie on the full screen of your TV, most likely, unless you have some sort of extremely wide monitor. This is a 178 by 1 aspect ratio in 1080p, 23.98 frames per second, which is standard. We also have the audio you get in DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. You also have the French language with English subtitles, and it's about an 83-minute movie, so it's just enough to get you in and get you out. And yeah, this is an excellent release, I think. It does look visually beautiful. There are some moments in the brighter sections. Obviously, it's going to look a little bit more vibrant. I do wonder if there was a 4K version, if the darker moments would be picked up more with like an HDR. I really enjoyed this. I think it's as far as the packaging and everything that goes with the limited release, I would probably say like an 8 out of 10 at least, maybe 9. If you're a fan, obviously you're going to want to get the cards and the book and everything like that. If not, maybe the standard edition's just for you, and they have that version, although I've seen that it is sold out in some places. So right now on Diabolic DVD, the limited edition is the only one you can get, and I don't know if they're going to restock it, so just FYI. But I'll put links down below for a couple of places in the US that you might want to pick it up. In the UK or outside, you might want to just pick it straight up from Second Sight, and I'll include their website as well. But thank you very much, Second Sight, for sending this out to me. I greatly appreciate the support, and I highly recommend their releases. They've been releasing a lot of French horror, and they may still have a couple of copies of the Dawn of the Dead out there. It isn't going to be the Ultimate Edition, but they are looking great. If you're a Dawn of the Dead fan as well, I would say highly recommend. They got a ton of different movies that I've gotten from them that are just really good quality. But yeah, thank you so much for your time, guys. I hope that kind of gives you an idea about the movie and the release. It came out on February 5th, so just a few days ago, but I just got this in like late last night, so I'm just now putting it together for you guys today to put it out. I'd highly recommend this for anybody who's into the French films or anything like that, this is a must buy. It's one of the top ones in my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this movie, on the release, if you're going to pick up the standard or the limited edition release. Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video and it was informative or helpful to you in any way, please hit the like and subscribe button, and also the little bell notification so you know when I have a new video coming out. But thanks for coming by, and as always, long live the board.